Under Siege was a high-octane action thriller that captivated audiences and cemented its cast as Hollywood stars. But 33 years later, what has become of them? While some continued their rise to fame, others faced career struggles, legal troubles, and personal tragedies. Some have left the industry behind, while others have battled health issues and heartbreaking losses. As we step into 2025, we take a look at where the cast is now, the highs and lows they have faced, and the unexpected turns their lives have taken since their action-packed days on screen. Patrick O'Neal portrayed Captain Adams in Under Siege, 1992, at 65. As the USS Missouri's commanding officer, Adams embodies discipline, authority, and an unwavering sense of duty, only to be swiftly eliminated by the terrorists, symbolizing the chaos that follows. O'Neal had a distinguished career in film and television but never achieved true stardom, often relegated to supporting roles. Despite his polished image, his personal life was troubled. His marriage to Cynthia Baxter grew cold due to his career obsession, and his two sons, Garrett and Max, felt abandoned. As he aged, his health deteriorated from years of smoking, leading to chronic respiratory issues that left him weak and bedridden. Once a commanding presence on screen, he spent his final months in decline, suffering both physically and emotionally. He passed away on September 9, 1994, at 66, his career fading into obscurity, leaving behind a fractured family and unrealized ambitions.
50 gallons of bouillabaisse that I need to prepare by tomorrow.
My birthday.
Yes, sir, I could do the cheeseburger routine.
No, it's not for me. It's the crew. They really love that stuff. So we'll...
Bernie Casey played Commander Harris in Under Siege, 1992, starting filming at 53. Harris is a steady and intelligent leader, offering calm guidance in a crisis. Casey, once an NFL star, transitioned to acting but was often typecast, rarely given the lead roles he deserved. His personal life was equally tumultuous, married twice, both unions ended in bitter divorces, and his only son, resentful of his father's emotional distance, cut off contact. As the years passed, the physical toll of his football career became unbearable, leading to severe chronic pain and a reliance on medication. His later years were marked by solitude, his artistic pursuits in painting and poetry failing to fill the emotional void. Suffering from diabetes and heart disease, he grew reclusive, and when he passed away on September 19, 2017, at 78, he died alone, his impact on Hollywood largely unacknowledged.
What's that?
Get the hell away from the hatch.
Andy Romano played Admiral Bates in Under Siege, 1992, having started filming at 56. As a senior naval officer, Bates is a man of composure and experience, orchestrating efforts from afar to regain control of the USS Missouri. Romano spent decades in Hollywood, but despite his dedication, he was forever trapped in the realm of supporting roles, never granted the breakthrough that could have defined his career. His personal life mirrored his professional frustrations. Married for years, his relationship with his wife gradually eroded under financial pressure and unfulfilled dreams, eventually ending in divorce. His children, disillusioned by his failures and frequent absences, grew distant, and he spent his later years with little family connection. As he aged, he developed Parkinson's disease, which stripped him of his ability to work, his independence, and, ultimately, his voice. He passed away on September 14, 2022, at 86, his final years spent in painful isolation.
Logic to it. He knows that we can follow his movement from Pearl.
We can vector an AWAC, or we can send a E2C from Nimitz.
That won't make it happen.
Dennis Lipscomb played Trenton in Under Siege, 1992, having started filming at 50. Trenton was a manipulative and calculating character, a man who thrived in the shadows, influencing the chaos unfolding aboard the USS Missouri. Lipscomb was a gifted but largely overlooked character actor, frequently relegated to supporting roles that never brought him widespread fame. His personal life was marked by solitude, his marriage ended in a bitter divorce, and he never had children, leaving him with no close family. As his career dwindled, financial struggles forced him into near obscurity, with only occasional minor television appearances keeping him afloat. His health deteriorated in his later years, and he spent his final days in quiet isolation, his contributions to film forgotten by many. He passed away on July 30, 2014, at the age of 72, with little media attention given to his passing, a tragic end to a lifetime in the industry.
And 32 tomahawks.
What kind of tomahawks? It's all right. It's okay.
Gene Barge portrayed a bail jumper in Under Siege, 1992, starting filming at 62. Though minor, his role reflected the unpredictability of the ship's chaos. Primarily known as a musician, Barge was a respected saxophonist and producer, but behind his success lay decades of exploitation in the music industry, where black artists were often underpaid and overlooked. His personal life was filled with heartbreak. His first marriage collapsed under the weight of financial stress, and his second ended in bitterness, leaving him estranged from his children. Despite his contributions to music and film, he struggled with recognition and financial security. In his later years, his health declined due to heart disease, and his once vibrant career faded from public memory. He passed away on February 2, 2025, at 98, his legacy remembered by few, his final years spent in quiet obscurity.
The United States Army Air Force, and I had graduated from West Virginia State College, so I had been.
Steven Seagal starred as Casey Ryback in Under Siege, 1992, having started filming at 40. Ryback was the ultimate action hero, a disciplined, deadly former Navy SEAL with a calm yet ruthless nature. Off-screen, Seagal's life was far less heroic. His meteoric rise in Hollywood in the late 80s and early 90s was overshadowed by allegations of abuse, fraud, and arrogance. His personal relationships were a disaster. He married 4 times, each ending in acrimony, and his children grew distant from him. His reputation in Hollywood deteriorated, leading him to exile himself in Russia, where he reinvented himself as a political figure, aligning with controversial leaders. Now, in 2025, at the age of 72, he lives a life of faded glory, starring in low-budget films few watch, his legacy tainted by scandal and self-destruction, a far cry from the unstoppable action star he once was. Troy Evans played Granger, a reliable and experienced sailor, in Under Siege, 1992, at 44, bringing a strong, grounded presence to the ensemble cast. A dependable character actor, Evans had steady work in Hollywood, appearing in Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and a long-running role in ER. Despite his career longevity, he never achieved stardom, and his personal life was riddled with tragedy. His first marriage ended in a painful divorce, and his second wife, whom he adored, was diagnosed with early-onset Alzheimer's, leaving him as her full-time caregiver. The emotional strain was unbearable, and their only son distanced himself, unable to cope with the family's struggles. Though Evans continued to work, financial instability and mounting medical bills drained his resources. Now, in 2025, at 77, he lives a reclusive life, his health failing, spending his days in quiet solitude, reflecting on a career and family that gradually slipped away from him.
You too, Case.
Ranger, you take this. Becker, get your tools. We got work to do.
Right.
Look alive, gentlemen. We're gonna jump into a shitstorm here.
Gary Busey played the psychotic Commander Krill in Under Siege, 1992, at 48, giving a performance filled with chaotic energy. Once a respected actor in Lethal Weapon and Point Break, Busey's career took a devastating turn after a near-fatal motorcycle crash in 1988 left him with severe brain damage. His erratic behavior, substance abuse, and reckless financial decisions destroyed his reputation. Though he found brief success in reality TV, his outbursts and bizarre behavior turned him into a Hollywood punchline. His marriages failed, his son distanced himself, and he squandered his fortune, leading to foreclosure on his home. By 2020, his mental and physical health had severely declined, and he was placed under conservatorship due to worsening dementia. Now, in 2025, at 80, Busey lives in a care facility, barely recognizing the world around him, a tragic end for an actor who once burned brightly but was consumed by his demons.
This does look delicious. It smells like a lard omelet. I put up with a lot of your shit.
Damian Chapa played Tackman, a young and inexperienced sailor on the USS Missouri, in Under Siege, 1992, having started filming at 29. Though a minor character, Tackman embodied the naive optimism of a junior crewman caught in a life-threatening crisis. Chapa's career peaked with Blood In, Blood Out, 1993, but his inability to secure leading roles in major films led him to a string of direct-to-video projects. His personal life was tumultuous, his short-lived marriage to Natasha Henstridge ended in bitter accusations, and his second marriage resulted in a son, Presley, but years of custody battles left him financially drained. In 2011, he was falsely accused of sexual assault, and though exonerated, the scandal ruined his career. Struggling with bankruptcy, legal troubles, and failed directing ventures, he desperately tried to rebuild his reputation, but Hollywood had long moved on. Now, in 2025, at 61, he lives in relative obscurity, making low-budget films that go unnoticed, estranged from his son, and burdened by the weight of his past mistakes.
I do laundry. I was ironed during the Gulf War. I ain't cut out for this hero bullshit. You're in the Navy, remember? It's not a job, it's an adventure. Hey, the hell with that, man.
Raymond Cruz portrayed Ramirez, a loyal and courageous crew member in Under Siege, 1992, having started filming at 28. His character fought alongside the protagonist, showing resilience and determination. Cruz's career was shaped by intense, often violent roles, most notably as the unhinged Tuco Salamanca in Breaking Bad. While the role earned him recognition, it also trapped him in the Hollywood stereotype of a ruthless criminal, limiting his opportunities. His personal life was equally troubled. He married in his 30s, but the union was fraught with emotional distance and growing resentment. Despite his longing for a family, he and his wife never had children, a reality that deepened his loneliness. Tragedy followed him closely. His mother's sudden passing left him shattered, and a car accident in the early 2000s caused lasting injuries, forcing him to endure chronic pain and surgeries. By 2025, at 60, he lives in near isolation, retired from Hollywood, his once promising career overshadowed by the burden of typecasting and personal loss.
Johnson, you get over here and you guard that door. Anybody comes through, you shoot him. Hey, Case, are you okay? Yeah.
Tommy Lee Jones played William Stranix, a calculating and charismatic terrorist, in Under Siege, 1992, having started filming at 46. His commanding presence and sharp wit made the villain both menacing and compelling. Jones was a Hollywood powerhouse, winning an Academy Award for The Fugitive, but behind the scenes, he was notoriously difficult. His sharp intellect often came off as cold arrogance, alienating many. His first marriage ended in divorce, and while he remarried, his emotional detachment created deep fissures in his personal life. Over time, personal losses, including the death of his longtime friend Cormac McCarthy, left him increasingly reclusive. The Hollywood system, which once revered him, grew tired of his demands, and he slowly retreated to his Texas ranch, where he found solace in solitude. Now 78 in 2025, he remains a legend of the industry, yet a deeply isolated figure, his brilliance overshadowed by the loneliness that followed him into old age.
Change anything? What made you flip like this?
I got tired of coming up with last-minute desperate solutions to impossible problems created by other fucking people.
All of your...
Glenn Morshower played Ensign Taylor, a disciplined junior officer, in Under Siege, 1992, at 33. His career flourished in television, landing steady roles in 24, The West Wing, and the Transformers franchise, where he became a recognizable but never famous character actor. Despite professional stability, his personal life was deeply troubled. His wife's decade-long battle with cancer left him emotionally and financially drained, and his daughter's struggles with substance abuse created years of estrangement. The stress eventually took a physical toll. He suffered a mild stroke in his early 60s, forcing him into semi-retirement. With his once promising career fading and personal losses haunting him, Morshower now, in 2025, at 65, lives a quiet, isolated life. His days filled with regret over the time he lost to grief and unfulfilled ambitions.
Well, that was cute. Petty Officer Ryback.
Ensign Taylor.
Sir.
Erika Eleniak portrayed Jordan Tate, a playboy playmate turned unlikely hero, in Under Siege, 1992, having started filming at 23. Initially known for her time on Baywatch, she struggled to break free from being typecast as a sex symbol, and Hollywood soon discarded her. Despite landing roles in smaller projects, her career never reached the heights she once envisioned. Her love life mirrored her professional struggles. Her engagement to Billy Warlock ended abruptly, and a later marriage deteriorated due to irreconcilable differences, leaving her a single mother. Behind the scenes, she battled an eating disorder that took a toll on her health, a fight she kept hidden from the public eye. As the years passed, the industry moved on, leaving her to navigate a life far from the spotlight. Now 55 in 2025, she lives quietly, her days of fame a distant memory, her name remembered more for what she once was than for what she achieved.
All right, who are you and what are you doing here?
My name is Jordan Tate.
George Cheung portrayed a commando in Under Siege, 1992, having started filming at 43. His character was a disciplined, highly trained soldier, playing a minor but effective role in the film's intense action sequences. Though he built a solid career with numerous supporting roles, he was constantly typecast and never given the chance to showcase his full acting potential. His devotion to Hollywood came at great personal expense. His marriage to Linda ended in a painful divorce as she grew tired of his long absences and financial instability. Their two children, Jason and Emily, grew up feeling abandoned, and despite his attempts to reconnect, the damage was done. As he aged, roles became scarce, and old stunt injuries left him in chronic pain. A severe back injury in his 60s forced him into early retirement, and he found himself struggling with both physical and emotional decline. Now, in 2025, at 76, he lives a quiet and reclusive life, his body weakened by years of demanding stunt work.
Hey, Pip. Yeah, we got an F-18.
Colm Meaney played Dahmer, a hardened and efficient terrorist, in Under Siege, 1992, having started filming at 39. A respected character actor, he gained widespread recognition for his role in Star Trek, yet despite his undeniable talent, he never became a leading man. The frustration of being overshadowed by bigger stars weighed on him, leaving him resentful of an industry that never fully embraced him. His personal life was marked by turbulence. His first marriage ended in an agonizing divorce, with a lengthy and bitter custody battle over his daughter only adding to his despair. Struggling to cope, he turned to alcohol, leading to a downward spiral that took years to recover from. Though he eventually remarried and found stability, the ghosts of his past continued to haunt him. Now 71 in 2025, he still acts, but the sting of missed opportunities lingers, a reminder of how close he came to true stardom without ever fully grasping it.
Bring up the layout, if you will, Mr. Pitt.
We've overridden all their systems. Okay, we control crypto, CIC, engine.
Tom Wood portrayed Private Nash in Under Siege, 1992, having started filming at 29. His character was a loyal and brave soldier, playing a crucial role in the film's conflict. Wood showed early promise in Hollywood, with a few notable appearances, but as the industry evolved, he found himself cast aside. His personal life mirrored his professional decline. His marriage to Diane, once filled with hope, disintegrated as financial stress mounted. The final blow came when he lost custody of their son Ethan in a devastating court battle, leaving him feeling like a failure both as an actor and a father. With no stable career, he turned to gambling in a desperate attempt to regain control over his life, only to spiral deeper into debt. His once bright future in Hollywood became nothing more than a distant memory. Now, in 2025, at 61, he lives in near obscurity, burdened by regret and financial ruin, spending most days reminiscing about a past that seems impossibly far away.
When I get out, I'll shoot you myself.
Commander Krill?
Nick Mancuso played Tom Breaker in Under Siege, 1992, having begun filming at 44. Breaker was a sharp and authoritative government official whose decisions carried immense weight in the unfolding crisis. Mancuso, a talented actor with a distinctive intensity, found moderate success in Hollywood but was plagued by misfortune. Diagnosed with a severe respiratory illness in his 50s, his once powerful voice became weak, limiting his ability to perform. His personal life fared no better. His marriage disintegrated due to his worsening health and financial difficulties, and his only daughter, Sophia, moved abroad, cutting ties with him entirely. As work dried up, he spiraled into depression, retreating into solitude. Now, in 2025, at 76, he struggles with chronic illness, barely able to leave his modest apartment, a man once filled with passion now reduced to a ghost of his former self.
If I could have been there to make my contribution, everything would have worked out fine.
Look, Bill, if this is about reliving the 60s, you can forget about it, buddy. The movement is dead.
Alsan Elam played a Marine in Under Siege, 1992, having started filming at 22. His character was a tough and resilient soldier, embodying the brotherhood and discipline of the military. Elam had aspirations of making it big, but after a few minor roles, his career never took off. As acting jobs dried up, he struggled to provide for his family, and his marriage to Angela fell apart under the weight of financial stress. His two sons, Marcus and Isaiah, grew up resenting his absence as he moved from one failed opportunity to another. A brief foray into real estate seemed promising, but a market crash left him in deeper financial ruin, forcing him to take on menial jobs just to survive. His health began to decline in his 40s due to years of stress and poor living conditions. Now, in 2025, at 54, he remains in the shadows of Hollywood, forgotten and struggling to hold onto the dreams he once had, his life a far cry from the success he had envisioned.
Russ.
Michael Desbarres portrayed Damiani in Under Siege, 1992, having begun filming at 44. Damiani was a calculating and remorseless figure, exuding menace as he operated within the chaos aboard the USS Missouri. Desbarres, a charismatic rock star-turned-actor, found fleeting success in both industries but never sustained mainstream recognition. Despite his charm, his personal life was a storm of failed relationships. Married twice, both unions ended in bitter divorces, leaving him estranged from his only son, Nick, who resented his father's reckless lifestyle. Years of substance abuse took their toll, leading to financial ruin and a battle with deteriorating health. Once a dynamic performer, he became a shell of his former self, struggling to find purpose. Now, in 2025, at 77, he lives in relative obscurity, his rock star days long behind him, his body frail from years of excess, a relic of an era that has long since moved on.
Enormously grateful to be able to play, these three disparate characters. I have a husband on one show and a wife on the other, it's amazing. And my relationship with MacGyver is purely platonic, of course.
Kane Hodder played a ruthless commando in Under Siege, 1992, at the age of 37, already known for his portrayal of Jason Voorhees in the Friday the 13th films. His career was marked by pain, both physically and emotionally. His near-fatal stunt accident in 1977 left him with severe burns, and Hollywood often typecast him in silent, masked roles, limiting his range. His marriage to Susan, initially strong, collapsed in 2008 due to the emotional strain of his career frustrations and frequent absences. Though adored by horror fans, he faced financial difficulties as medical bills from his injuries piled up. In 2023, he suffered a debilitating stroke that left him partially paralyzed, cutting short any remaining professional aspirations. Now 69, he lives in near isolation, struggling with his declining health, relying on fan donations, and haunted by the realization that his legacy is built on roles where his face was never even seen.
You don't even think about it, but if you have to hold your breath as long as you can for, 80 times during a day, it wears you out.
Adam James played another commando in Under Siege, 1992, having started filming at 20. His character was a determined young soldier, contributing to the film's portrayal of elite military forces. He had high hopes for Hollywood but quickly found himself lost in an industry that had little patience for struggling actors. Despite landing a few small roles, he was never able to establish himself as a leading man. Frustration and insecurity led him to heavy drinking, straining his marriage to Rebecca, which ended in a bitter divorce. Their daughter Sophie, whom he adored, became distant as she grew older, unable to understand his downward spiral. With no stable income, he worked sporadically behind the scenes in film production but never found the fulfillment he once sought. Depression took its toll, and at one point, he was nearly homeless, relying on the kindness of old friends. Now, in 2025, at 52, he remains a forgotten figure in Hollywood, financially unstable and struggling to reconcile with his life. Dale Dye portrayed Captain Garza in Under Siege, 1992, having started filming at 48. Garza was the epitome of disciplined military leadership, a commanding presence aboard the doomed vessel. In real life, Dye was a decorated Marine turned actor, but his transition into Hollywood was not without its struggles. Typecast in military roles, his acting career stalled, forcing him to take minor consulting gigs to stay afloat. His personal life unraveled when his second wife left him, unable to endure his growing bitterness and reclusive tendencies. His son from his first marriage, whom he had neglected due to his career, refused to reconcile. Health issues compounded his woes, and he found himself battling severe arthritis, rendering him unable to work. Now, in 2025, at 80, he lives alone, relying on military pensions, his once proud legacy fading as time leaves him behind. Diego Wallraff provided voice work for Under Siege, 1992, at 30, contributing to the film's gritty atmosphere. Despite his talent, his thick accent limited his opportunities in Hollywood, pushing him toward European cinema and voice acting. His career peaked in the late 90s, but by the 2000s, he struggled to find steady work. In 1999, he married Maria, a fellow actress, but their relationship was plagued by heartbreak as they suffered multiple miscarriages. Their only child, Julian, was born in 2005, but he was diagnosed with a severe developmental disorder, putting immense strain on the family. By 2011, Maria left, exhausted from Diego's growing depression and alcohol dependency. As acting jobs became scarce, he took teaching roles at drama schools but faced financial struggles. In 2020, he was diagnosed with early-onset dementia, which progressed rapidly. Now 63, he lives in a Berlin nursing home, often confused, no longer able to recall the career he once fought so hard to maintain. Kevin Wayne portrayed a submarine terrorist in Under Siege, 1992, at 24, having started filming at 20. His character was a shadowy enforcer, a silent but relentless force among the hijackers, adding to the film's atmosphere of dread. Though he hoped the role would launch his career, Hollywood proved unkind, his name rarely appeared in credits, and substantial roles remained elusive. He drifted between minor film and television appearances, but financial instability forced him into menial jobs outside the industry. His personal life was equally turbulent. His short-lived marriage ended in a bitter divorce, and he lost contact with his only son. As rejection mounted, so did his struggles with alcohol, and health issues soon followed. By his final years, he was living alone, forgotten by the industry he had once dreamed of conquering. On February 9, 2025, at 54, he died from liver failure in a cramped apartment, his passing unnoticed in the very city where he had once chased stardom. Who is your favorite character from Under Siege 1992? How do you feel knowing that some of the actors have passed away? Don't hesitate to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this content, please remember to like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you won't miss future videos. Thank you so much.